Well, what are we talking about today? We're talking about what? Success. What do you define as success or personal definition of success? I've been reading a lot about different people's experiences through the various podcasts, so many of them, different ones about all manner of topics. We all know about people like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, these kind of like very obvious public figures. There's a lot less, known representatives of like philosophies and podcasts. One that I listen to is the Stoic podcast, which is good. There's some nice lessons there to take away for life. And recently I was watching this stuff about Andrew Tate that people have, been talking about, and I was kind of thinking, well, everybody's got their own definition of what's right, what's wrong in a certain way based on our frame of reference, right? Otherwise, there wouldn't be people that would be doing certain things. And one thing that got my attention was the stuff that was going on with Andrew Tate, right? So, the whole idea that you can just basically blame any negative feedback or anything negative about anything on this matrix, then, I don't know. What do you say? How do you argue with that, right? It's the matrix. You can't argue with that. There's another thing I watched on YouTube recently, which was that stupid people or fools are more dangerous than evil people. Maybe that's something relevant to that point. I think having a frame of reference where empathy and understanding from another person's point of view is critical in being able to function in a way where you're not doing everything just for yourself and in your own interests, and basically doing whatever you think you can do in order to get what you want to achieve. There are various definitions of the social aspect of doing something like that, whether sociopathy, etc., etc. I won't go too much into that. I think that's a whole different set of definitions and terminology that I'm not really that well versed in. But I think I just wanted to talk about what I define as success. And ever since I was about 15, 16, I've been really fortunate enough to have had, essentially achieved everything that I've wanted to do in my life. And I think in a certain way that could be a definition of success. And, maybe some of the dreams or some of the goals that I've had haven't been so, lofty in that it hasn't brought fame in a way that you would normally see maybe an actor or something like that. But, where to start? I think the first thing to start with is to turn on the light here so it's a bit more visible. Happiness is another thing, right? How do you define happiness, success, all these kind of like lofty words. And I think for me, the most important thing in my life has been the idea of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, from the Greek, I guess from the, to be filled with the divine. I think interesting, entho is a very common word. And I think from that, enthusiasm has brought me the amazing, the amazing and fantastic opportunity and experience to be with this lovely creature that I've helped bring into this world. And really there's nothing, I don't think so far, everything that I've achieved, everything that I've done in life, nothing has felt as fulfilling and as, challenging and I guess we would say as interesting as so many things than to bring a person to this world and have them, grow up around you and you can see everything that they're doing, Don't mind the other noises there. That's just the washing machine. I've chosen very specifically to try and live within with less than I could possibly have, right? So living below your means. I think there have been a few instances where I have gone beyond my means in terms of financial means, and and it's ended up in a train wreck. And I've been fortunate enough to still be around to tell the story, and I will get to all of them. But I guess you get to a point where you kind of like, you get to this point now, or I've gotten to this point now, where I look at everything that I've done and the stupid things that I've done in my life, and the gratitude that I have for just being thankful for being alive after everything that's happened, you know, and the gratitude for having family around to be able to support you when you're not feeling your best or when you're down, and then being able to pass on those lessons, you know, onto others. And this little amazing being is my daughter, and I think she's like the definition for me of what I guess you could say success is, right? I don't think it matters what position in life you are. I guess if you're not under the threat of war or famine or under extreme levels of stress, then kids in your life probably the best thing you could have. I mean, there are obviously situations where I guess it's not the best idea to have kids, and there've been I know people who have had children and have been unable to keep them, and that's a tragedy in and of itself. But I think what I'm trying to say is that I guess the definition for me of success is to be a good role model for the next generation in a way that makes them be compassionate, be honorable, be honest as much as you can be honorable, honest, and there's never an easy path. There's never this is just the right way, right? There's always different choices you make in life, and some of them especially men make less I guess intelligent choices as a whole. I think that's evident through activities that more men engage in than women. Maybe that's a generalization in a way, but the statistics do point to that. Anyway, so I wanted to point out that you can be healthy, you can be fit, and you can be a good husband and a good father and a good person to other people, and you can try to understand other people's point of view. It's difficult to know when you're being cheated also, but you kind of learn as you go, and you'll find that there are certain people that will, whatever they say is either an extreme exaggeration or a lie. And I've been in the unfortunate position of having a business partner that I trusted, who in fact was similar in a way to what you'd see with Andrew Tate and people like that, in that once you go below the surface of all the stuff that they're talking about, and you actually try and do the research yourself, you realize at some point that it's all a lie, it's always been a lie, and that you've been naive to trust that person. And then the problems arise when you have an emotional attachment to that person, right? What's happened? And then, but you get out of that, you do. And you find people that you can trust, yeah? And that will, look after you like you look after them, yeah? Yeah, so that's really it. This is my success. I feel successful and fulfilled in life, and grateful for everything that I have. And once you come to terms with the fact that that's what the best way you can live is, it is for me, because I don't find I've lived in extreme situations with extreme debt. I've lived in extreme situations with extreme chaos. I've also lived in situations that have absolutely nothing interesting happening, and that's also not good. You do want to keep things interesting in life, but you want to keep it interesting within the bounds of what is reasonable to you, right? And I think you want to find people that live in a certain way within those same kind of within the same with the same perspective on life. If you've got friends that really are far more extreme things than what you would be used to or comfortable with, then it's okay to just step away from that. If there are people that are just too boring for you or do things that you're just not that interested in, it's okay to step away from that and be yourself and find people that you connect with, because they will always be there. There will always be people around that you connect with. Alan Watts made an interesting comment about work. He said, if you enjoy doing something, go for it, go do it, go do more of it, because there's, for everything that someone is interested in, there is someone who's willing to pay, money for. For instance, if you're into horses, then teach people to ride horses. If you're into cars, then work as a mechanic, work as an engineer on vehicles. There's always ways to be involved in whatever things you want to do. My passion at the moment and interest is also in cameras and films and YouTube, which is what I'm doing here, and also setting up a new studio. But I'm also really passionate about coding. So I'm enthusiastic, passionate about all these things. And the one thing is that you'll never have enough time to do everything that you want in life, and there'll always be things that you have to let go. But that's it. That's life. You don't live forever. But do what I think is most important, and definitely spend time with people that bring you joy, because that will, in the end of the day, at the end of everything, that'll be more important to them and you than, I guess, the fact that you worked on a particular product. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And that's been my 2 cents on what I define as success, and just my thoughts on the topic, and especially on the current state of certain figures which are creating impressions upon our younger generation. So, well, I'll see you at the next one. See ya. Say bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.